Financial disclaimer. The information provided in this stream is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional financial or investment advice. We are not licensed financial advisors, and the content presented here is based on our personal opinions and experiences. Investing in stocks and other financial instruments involves risk, including the potential loss of capital. Any investment decisions you make are solely your own responsibility, and you should conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment choices. The content we share on this stream may not be accurate, complete, or up to date. Market conditions and financial regulations can change rapidly, and we cannot guarantee the accuracy or reliability of the information presented. We do not endorse or promote any specific stocks, companies, or investment strategies. Any actions you take based on the content of this stream are at your own risk, and we will not be held liable for any losses or damages that may occur as a result. Always remember that past performance is not indicative of future results, and no investment is guaranteed to be profitable. Make informed decisions and consider your risk tolerance before investing any funds. By accessing and using this stream, you acknowledge and agree that we are not responsible for any investment decisions you make as a result of the content presented. You are encouraged to seek advice from qualified financial professionals for personalized guidance. Please invest responsibly, and only with money you can afford to lose.
Hey man, just found the next guaranteed multi-bagger.
Hey man, you found another one? What is it this time?
Come check this out.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Laughing Stock. I'm Redneck Johnny. I made sure I said the right name today. Another week, right? Another Thursday. I saw Dane was streaming on Tuesday. I had a good stream. A lot of things to go through. There's been some development, but now we are kind of in a waiting game, both for ALTO and BNED, because we have gone past the reports and everything like that. So now I will go through a little bit on mostly on ALTO today, but I will also have a look at the BNED and see the development in the comments below the article and everything like that. There's been raised. There's a discussion going on now with people from like very clear both sides, and the whole thing now is like, what do you believe? Will they pull through it or not go bankrupt? You know, but that has kind of been the thesis all along, right? They needed to handle this debt. That was nothing new. We knew that was coming, but it was a bit unfortunate that it was coming together with the report that could have sent the price up a lot, you know, because the numbers were very good, and they showed the evidence of growth in their model as well. So it is like this sometimes, and I'm not too bothered, to be honest. Of course it's like risky. We have said that all the time, and it still is a lot of risk involved here. But I wish I could. My financial situation is not like I can add at this point. I did add that 78 cents not too long ago, and it has dropped below that now. So I wish I could have added a little bit more. I would have done it if I could. But it's okay. I'm happy with my average, and we are following the development closely. There's a date in April that we are now looking forward to, that we will know more about the debt and the the deals they make and everything like that. So we are gonna keep you updated on that. But we are now like we just have to wait for a few things now to happen in, I think, both ALTO and BNED, which we have focused a lot on in the past streams, you know. So I'm gonna try to look for new things today as well and spend some time looking at new things. There was a comment on Dane's stream from Jared. I don't know if you are in the chat today, Jared, but thanks for posting a ticker in the comment section on the last stream. Both Dane and I have checked out is BuzzFeed. We have checked it out, and we kind of like it already, so I thought I should just pull it up, and I'm sure we will go through it together on Saturday. But I can pull it up today and just have a conversation about it. And Jared, if you are in the chat, let me know so we can talk a little bit about it. It did look interesting, but it has gone up a lot in February. But it's okay. We can check it out. So yeah, I'm gonna start a little bit with ALTO today after here the dashboard, and then BNED, and then we will go into the fundamental side, the fundamental sheet. And by the way, I've had a little bit of a I have pulled up some tickers, but I will go through the daily movers also and just go through the process because I didn't have time to see before, just now before the stream. So I have updated all the metrics and stuff like that. So I will go through the daily mover process as well today live. I do that sometimes, but usually I have a few tickets already prepared. I do that today too, but I hope I can find a little bit of more in the daily movers and maybe the weekly movers as well. It's Thursday, so I'm curious to see. And by the way, Ring Energy REI is REI. Is a ticker that we have mentioned in the past as well. It's on the way up a little bit, so maybe we can have a look at the Ring Energy today as well. And GTE as well. And you know, we have been talking about GTE. So yeah, it looks good for a few of the tickers that we have followed. GTE. I'm experiencing a little bit, experimenting a little bit with my sound today. So let me know if you guys, if the sound is a little bit too low or something like that. But I think it's good. I see natural gas is a bit up, coal down, solar down. There's a lot of down in the risk column today. The home builders has taken a hit, it seems like, today, which is okay because they have been up for quite some time now. Nvidia, finally I see some red there. Tesla as well. Bitcoin, my price of Bitcoin is messed up, I can see. But it has it's on 70k now. That's good for Bitcoin, I guess. I see. I need to. I was watching a RK stream the other day again, one of his early ones, and I was thinking I need to update a little bit of these ETFs and stuff like that because it's based off of his sheet, you know. So he went through kind of all the charts, a lot of them at least in these things. So I think I should just like double check and try to update so I have the same as he did, because I know that I have used a couple that are a bit different, and I'll just not bother fixing it, but I think I should do that now. And I'm also trying to still build up my universe sheet, like my full universe sheet with Y sheets, because they have made a update in their subscription model where you can like pull all the stocks they have from all the exchanges they have. But there's some kind of I'm in touch with the owner of Y sheets on Discord, and there's some, for some reason it doesn't pull in a lot of the tickers that I'm usually interested in. So I sent him a message explaining the issue, and he said he will have a look, but right now that's slowing me down a bit. I don't think you guys will see a difference in my sheets when I have that ready, but you know, my fundamental sheet a week ago, there was some errors and I fixed it in a temporarily way, but it's not fully working still. So just bear with me. I'm trying to fix it. It's going a bit slow because of the Y sheet issue right now. But okay, let's go into ALTO. Not too much. And by the way, I didn't see what the BNED and ALTO did today. ALTO is up 1.5, just at the $2 again. I saw it was below. Last time I added in 197 or something like that. It's a while ago. Same here. I kind of wish I had. This is a big position for me. This is my biggest position, so I'm a bit hesitant to put more money in there right now. But I think again, if I had a little bit to use, I would. When it dropped below $1, you know, to get my average down, because I'm I was way too early into Alto. I'm in the minus side right now. I'm hoping that will change, of course, and I still believe that it will. I would go through why now, and explain like what I've seen. And I saw the market didn't take. They didn't kind of they kind of didn't like the report that came now, and I understand it. The numbers were not great. But there was a lot of things that I did like and that I was waiting for. But it's still like, to sum it up, it's still like a show me story. They need to deliver now on all this talk, and that's also a bit of the criticism. Like they have talked a lot and they just push out the dates, you know, like all the projects are being pushed back. It's a bit slow moving, but I have always said that it's the summer now in 24, and the period we are going into right now that will be interesting. And now, in my opinion, we can see hints of that happening. There was a few things that I was like reacting a little bit negative to in terms of what they said and what they didn't talk about. But all in all, I'm not so disappointed in the call. Yes, with the numbers, but I can understand why they are a bit bad. And my thinking right now is that they have set themselves up for some profitability in the next years, and then they need to deliver on that, you know. So that's kind of where I am right now with Alto. But we can go through it. I saw Alto at $2. BNED a bit down. A bit down. Of course, disappointed with the price, but I'm not paying too much attention to the price right now. It's more about the development of that depth. And of course, if it tanks, it tanks. And then we missed on this one, but I'm very curious to see what they will come up with the depth news. And like I said, if you want like a good discussion about this, watch our previous streams. We have gone through it in detail, everything that we have figured out. But also go to Courage and Convictions article and read below it now in the comment section. There's some pretty heavy discussions going on from two sides, you know. And I just urge everyone who reads there to understand that people have different time horizons and stuff like that, different strategies as well. So we are not particularly long-term investor at all compared to many other styles. But if we are ending up being correct on BNED, I plan to hold it for some time because, like we said, the fundamental business has been growing, and they showed that they can execute and have executed, and that they have grown the model. So it's all right. But let's start with Alto. I saw, by the way, Courage and Conviction is now also commenting on Alto. So I know for a fact that Justin has talked about Courage in one of his Q&A videos on YouTube before. Justin has taken them down on his YouTube channel. I don't know what happened there, but I watched them, and he did mention Courage. I think he got a question about if he have talked with other investors, and if I remember correctly, he mentioned Courage, that he has been in touch with him, and I think Courage has been involved in past. I'm not sure about that, so don't take it as 100%. But now he did say that he added below 2 in Alto. So we have more names that we follow, analysts that we follow, that are now writing about them. And he said the same as I said today. And like, I was listening to the call, and there was some. I was a bit. I think management would struggle if Justin didn't jump in and ask his questions. Those questions were very good. They were intelligent, and like he knew what to ask, and got like dragged an answer to clear things up a bit from management. So I really liked the fact that Justin jumped in. And I was also monitoring the share price, and I will go through it a bit later here in some of the comments, but when they were talking a little bit about something, I saw the price went down immediately and was not a good, and I was also reacting like that was a horrible answer. But then Justin came in and it actually went, it can be random, of course, but that's what happened. I was monitoring everything. And I just need to clear something up also. I will go through it later, but there was a joke in there in the call that on the transcript, it doesn't come across as a joke. I just want to point that out, that it was clearly a joke, and that he didn't mean it in the way it's written, because that's simply wrong. I think they should add like a comment that it was a joke in the transcripts. I don't know if they ever do that, but it was clearly a joke for everyone that listened to it. They understood that it was a joke. So there are nice joke questions on the analyst portion of tonight's call, and it really was. If you can listen to it back, I advise you to go and listen to it. Justin jumped in at the very end of the call, and he got like 3-4 questions in and followed up on the answers as well. And he's bringing up on his Twitter also a very good and important point. I think I will pull it up later here. But it's basically this: first time they have ever broken out the Western assets from peaking, and that does matter because we are kind of hoping for asset sales of the Western assets. And this is the first time on the call that management was actively saying that they were positive to explore those possibilities. And then if you add in that they have broken out the Western assets from peaking, and they are posting all the cash generations and everything from the different plants, you can, and they said on the call that they were open to sell it off, but only for the right price. And if it didn't make sense to sell them, they said they will just keep them and generate the cash of as much as they can on them. But I think we have waited on a sell from the Western assets for at least like before Q3. We were kind of talking about that would make sense. Almost like 8-9 months now we have talked about how that would make sense. And Justin thinks they can get minimum 100 million for those, and the market cap right now is like 150 million. So there's a lot of things that can. I don't think that's near term though. It depends on your time horizon, but I think I was just thinking for myself. I know they have sold assets in the past, and they also commented on that they have been successful with selling off the. I think that was in California. They were selling off the Stockton assets, and back I was in ALTO back then also, and Justin was spot on with his prediction on that. And not only that, like I was saying to Dane before the stream, that okay, there's been some things that has been written about ALTO now that has been a little bit off, a little bit wrong, and ALTO has disappointed, but in terms of you see Justin is still very bullish here, and in the period that I've been in ALTO, Justin has been way more correct about predicting things around ALTO than he has been like wrong or missed a little bit here and there. So he predicted the Stockton asset sale in that time period that it happened. And then just a few months after, he was saying to everyone, like, I expect them to come with an update on the guidance in January, because he understood that the business was doing great. And then that happened as well, and they killed it on the report. I think this was Q4 2021, and the stock was up like 25% in the pre-market. And keep in mind, there was a much more heavy short interest in those days, like 12-13% short interest. And it actually was a bit disappointed even then, like the price didn't go up that much on that day. But they had proven that in that period they were doing really good, with the numbers and everything. and things looked promising. But then it quickly got pushed down. I don't know what happened to that share, but I think it ended the day 5% up or something like that, which was a disappointment when it was the report was solid, it was great. And again, Justin predicted everything in that period that happened correctly. And then, okay, 2022 was a bit rough. He explained in the article that there was a lot of one-time things that happened that would probably never happen again. Stuff like the war between war on Ukraine, you know, which, you know, they are a big corn producer. So when the ports there was not operational, that of course had a big effect on the whole world in terms of the corn industry. And other things, there was a flood, there has been a fire, there's been a lot of things that you cannot really predict, you know, and that's part of this game that we are doing. Like you can think that you are right and you can be right as well, but then something like that happen and it doesn't matter. But I just want to say that I think listening to Justin in this stock, and also if you look at his history, we have pulled it up on one of the streams before, it's exceptional. It's been a bit bad the last 2 years, but before that, exceptional. So to listen to him, especially in a stock that he has said himself, it has reached GameStop level of like an obsession for him. He's very dialed in here. He has communication with management. So to listen to him here is, in my opinion, I let's just say it like I'm weighing his take on the situation heavy. Justin can be wrong in the end, and same as me. But it's like his words weigh a bit heavy for me, at least. And you see, Courage said the same. Nice job of question on the analyst portion of tonight. So people are, you know, people are giving him credit for his work, which is well deserved, Justin. You've done great work on this. And others too, but first and foremost, Justin. And of course, I have checked out the fundamentals, and I've been in ALTO for a long time. I have my own take and thesis and stuff like that. We just use Seeking Alpha in the comments and the articles to support our thesis, but I can see much of the same that he's talking about. That's what, like, we are pretty much aligned. And of course, Justin has helped me point out and see things that I would never understood myself. So that's what you want to use Seeking Alpha for. But interesting point, they've broken out the Western assets from Pekin, and we are speculating that they are trying to like show people how attractive it can be to buy it. And by the way, ALTO's competitors on their calls, they have talked about that they are interested to acquire plants and stuff like that. So I'm leaning right now towards that management will end up selling those assets. But I think it will not happen like before the summer. I think it will happen maybe like September, October, November, maybe. But we need to see and keep. We need to update ourselves on how that goes anyway. But that would be huge, you know, 100 million if they can get that for them. Minimum is just insane. That would be huge for them, and like forget about you know, they have money then if they do that. So combine that with an entire prepackaged paragraph of commentary on the willingness to divest assets with all of the competitors. Yeah, there's no way that the Western assets don't sell for an absolute minimum of $1 per gallon. The current market valuation for ALTO makes absolutely no sense given the massive increase in plant values due to the Inflation Reduction Act, which is kind of what I was trying to say, but he said it so much better just in a paragraph. But okay. And then Courage, you know, agreed. I added more at 2 and wrote a somewhat detailed note to my investing group. Courage has an investing group that you can pay money for to get some comments from him on. I am not I'm not a subscriber there, but I know he has a big following, and he has been also successful as well. So could be worth if you have the money to check it out. And he said that he has written a note to them. And here is what I'm saying, like with the joke. I will get to that very soon. And people are just asking, like, has the thesis changed a bit? Just and saying, no, this is just more like we keep an eye on multiple things here that can happen. So no, but interesting to see Courage, and that he added more. So Courage is also in this, and he saw the same as I saw and thought about the questions that Justin asked. So that's good to say. Hey Max, nice to see you back, Max. I'm just going through ALTO now. I don't know if you paid attention to them, but they had a Q3 report, a Q4 report on Monday, and the stock is down since then. Market didn't like it, but I'm trying to keep my head cool a bit, and I kind of liked it. Yeah, Max, be quiet. I'm not. I was not drunk. I was not drunk. Max is referring to my my stream on Saturday where I introduced myself as Ranger Dane. Sometimes I get very confused with everything that's going on. But now, what happened with BNED? Yeah, BNED. Well, in short, they had a great report, right? A Q3 report where the fundamental business has grown and show huge potential, but then it came with potential dilution news, and they even wrote in the message like a substantial discount to the current share price. So the market is a bit scared now, and maybe rightfully so, that there will be a dilution, but they did use the word potential. So let's see what happened. Maybe they won't issue shares. There's many ways they can do this, but if you go, Max, on underneath Courage and Convictions article there's a big discussion going on now with two clear sides, one that are like short the stock and one that are not, or has been short at least. And it's all about the debt. It's all about the amendments, and if they can work out a deal that like won't make them go bankrupt, basically. But I mean that was a risk all the time, and I actually like, if they are forced now to deal with the debt already and get it done and over with, and they survive, I don't care. That's what we want. If they can pull it through and they can reach profitability easy with the numbers, if they continue with the numbers that they are showing us now. And keep in mind, the DOE that we have paid close attention to lately, it's like postponed till July or something, 2025, with a decision there. You know, the opt-out model is going to continue until they do some changes there, and it will be like this for more than a year. So if they can continue with that model and continue to even grow, they will generate a lot of cash. So they just need to pull through this a little bit of a dark period now with the debt, and it gets a bit complicated with the debt. But there's some discussions going on in the Seeking Alpha article, so there's a lot of valuable information there. I know only increase shares dilute. What else can they do to dilute? Well, that's what we are wondering about, Max. But to increase the share count, that's pretty much the dilution, right? But they can make deals to how they can structure the debt and how they can make plans to pay it down. And we just have to wait and see there. And they can of course issue like warrants or prefer like different kind of stock structures that doesn't necessarily like dilute in the same way as I think if they had like dilution in the open market now, that would be very bad. Like not very bad, but that would be like, I mean, the stock price is already a bit low right now, and some of the comments has been like they've been a bit unlucky with the DOE thing that came in January, because if they could maybe issue some shares and raise some capital back then, that would help them. But then the stock price tanked, but it's still like, this is nothing new to Dane and my thesis. We always knew that the debt, and we talked about it on all the streams, that's like the big elephant in the room, and it's near term, and they had to deal with it, and they had to push it back. But so Max, nothing really new has happened like in the last few days with BNED. So I started the stream by saying we're kind of just waiting now to see the development. We're paying a close eye on it, and we will probably talk about it on every stream, but it's a waiting game right now, and we will reassess when we have more information. Yeah, so the next point here with ALTO, going back to ALTO, I just found this a bit hilarious. I saw some comments. Can you please give us your overall take on yesterday's result release and call? Are you still bullish on stock? What a near-term catalyst? I did not hear anything about SAF, and that I also didn't hear anything. That was a bit disappointing. But well, that's actually not correct. In the presentation, like in the slides, they mentioned SAF. So it's not like they didn't mention anything about it, but they didn't specifically talk too much about it. But let's see. That can come a bit later now, This big thing for me was the carbon capture program, and that they have, I will talk about it soon, but they have like written like a letter of intent to partner with a company called Volt 44.01 or something like that, which is a big thing, but it's just a letter of intent. So they need to finalize that deal, and Brian McGregor, who is the CEO there, he said like that's one of the big milestones in the near term. So that will be huge if they can land that deal. That's what I've been waiting for quite some time now, because they have talked a lot about it, how they are carefully exploring all kinds of options to figure out how they're gonna solve this carbon capture project plans, and how they're gonna do that. And now it seems like they have zoned in on this partner that they will continue to work with, and hopefully finalize a deal. And that is a near-term catalyst as well, that can send that I hope the market will view as positive, But my thing here was like, he posted a Twitter link, and these people saying like, I don't have a Twitter account. Like, okay, but figure it out then, guys. Come on, figure it out. Anyways, yeah, here was the part. This is the transcript. You see Justin here asking the questions. So it's in his section where there was like a joke. And Justin is pretty much talking about the asset sale. And then I guess on one last comment, it's really great to hear strong statement and your willingness to potentially dispose of the Western assets. And I guess just given a lot of the public comments made by your competitors on the potential value of facilities, it is safe to assume that any disposition of the Western assets will likely be over 100 million. And then Brian is saying, I would hope it would be 600 million. And Justin spontaneously laughed. Brian laughed a little bit as well. It was clearly a joke, but it doesn't come across, perhaps, if you just read this and you're not dialed in, as a joke, but it was a joke. His point was like, we hope, of course, to get as much as we can for them. And he's like kind of saying that here it's difficult to assess, right? And I've seen some people talk about this on stock tweets and other stuff, also in Seeking Alpha, and wonder if it was like legit or something. Like a lot of people took it not like a joke, but it was a joke. They were laughing about it. And his point was, again, we hope to get as much as we can for them. And Justin is like expecting a minimum of 100 million. And he thinks like it's a bit unclear that the market doesn't really understand the potential there, and that the market maybe expect half that in price. So if they can get then 100 million or more, that would maybe surprise a few people watching this, you know. So also near-term catalyst, I guess. But like I said, I don't really expect them to make a sale before the summer, but who knows here. Maybe they have some bids already. And are negotiating, you know. I don't know. Just have to wait and see for these things. But that would be huge. 100 billion. Look at the market cap. And 100 million to finance everything they need right now, it's like it would be gold for them. 150 million market cap. Get an asset sale, 100 million. That would be huge. Okay, so that was one thing. And this was like, some people asked like about his take, and this was what he posted. The biggest takeaway from the ALTO conference call is that hundreds of millions of capex outlays have potentially been completely removed, and carbon capture is now full steam ahead. That was the main thing that I was also waiting on it. I said after on the Q3 report, which was a disaster, the only positive thing that I saw was some comments about the carbon capture project. And I expected them to have more news on that now, which they did. So they delivered on that part, in my opinion. So, and they are clearly now focusing much more on that. They have even paused other projects to just like zone in on this and get it done. Hopefully, like Brian said himself, I can search in the transcript to get his words right. So this guy was like asking what's the next milestone that we should be looking forward to, and he was saying probably the ones I would identify would be definite agreements with Volt as one, and then the other one would be probably the next one would be the filing of the Class 6 permit. Those would be fairly major milestones. So, you know, this is their main focus now, to get this deal over the line and to make them they are expert at carbon capture, and to get them over the line, and of course they have to share a little bit with them then, but to use them as an expert, and they will come to ALTO and they will do everything there. So to use them as experts, I think is a good way to go about it, you know. So largest benefit ALTO is simply the compression piece, which is below 100 million. This makes the financing question much easier, especially if they sell the Western assets. Exactly. Furthermore, if they were to ever sell peaking in the future, this project can only materially increase the value of the assets. Any money spent on compression will without question increase the value of the asset. So, also, like, you know, Jeremy Raper, he wanted to sell the entire business for $6.50 per share. Jeremy is now updated that he's completely out, and he tried to talk shit about ALTO also. And in his eyes, if you take his glasses on, you can understand it. but it's about how what do you have as a time horizon here, and how, like, yeah, everyone is disappointed in the last like 6 months here, or since the Q3 report. But this wasn't all bad. I disagree with that. I strongly disagree with that. I looked at it, many things in the report and the call as positive things. But I will say that I'm glad that Justin came in and asked those questions because I think management, that's a criticism of them. I think up until then they would never have said what they answered to Justin if they didn't get those questions, you know. But they should have been clear. They need to be clear with the market now, because they messed up in the Q3 report, you know. Also on bad communication. So their communication skills is not the best, obviously. So you know, I want them to. I hope, let's just say, I hope Justin is on the next call as well then. But yeah, if they sell the entire thing, it's like he's saying, like, it would be just worth more if they do this. And you know, I'm pulling up Justin's take here now. I'm aware that there's a lot of analysts that I also follow and have respect for, and I know that they have performed really well, that are very negative to this now, and they are like a little bit done with ALTO, you know. They are out of it. They talk shit about it, but I'm not. Sometimes I will follow them into something because I like what they write. Sometimes I disagree with them. It's not like every time I agree with these people. And I think, like, in case of Jeremy Raper, he's a good analyst. But I think, like, his activist investor try in ALTO was a bit like, I don't fully know how that usually is gone about, but I'm not sure. He probably knew, of course, that Justin was a big owner, but I'm not sure. He claimed he talked on the behalf of a big percentage, but I mean, Justin is a bigger owner than he is, and he, like, completely disagreed with him, and that was pretty clear before. And I'm not saying that you have to agree to send an activist letter or something, but I was waiting a little bit for Jeremy to update. He didn't say too much after that letter, so I don't know. He probably did it behind closed doors, you know, and that's okay. But it was just clear that he had a different thesis here. And he said now that everything that he wrote about and raised as concerns in that letter, that he was right about every single one almost. And if you look at it through his eyes, yes, maybe, perhaps he was. And the timeline that he was has maybe been a bit bad in that way, but Justin has been clear all the time that he's looking a bit more long term, like to 2026 and beyond, you know. So it depends on what kind of eyes you are looking at this on. And I think Jeremy Raper also raised good concern that you know, Trump is there's a possibility that he will become president again in the United States, and he asked, like, if or he thought that would be a worry, but I think at least according to Justin, he didn't see that as a big risk. But I've been thinking about that as well. So legit concerns, of course, but Justin said, like, basically that he didn't view Trump as a risk at all for ALTO. Who knows? We have to wait and see here. And I mean, you know, in this is what's I think fantastic with investing in a case like this. Everyone can end up being right in the end. It just depends on your time horizon. All right, so next one we had was like he's just leaning a bit on this Craig Hallam about the assets. they also said like we think we need proceeds of 100 million plus, which is what Justin said as well. So they are aligned on their thinking. I will say this though, before ahead of the Q3 report, this guy Eric Steen, he has been following ALTO for a long time, and he has been on the calls and everything. And there was a little bit of a on the Q2 report. It looked very promising, and it looked like they were deliver fantastic numbers on Q3. So there was a little bit of like people tried to make a little bit fun of the two analysts that cover ALTO in that pair, because they were much more negative than what a lot of other people were. And this is the same guy now that Justin is like, okay, we agree on this, you know. So things change. Yeah. And here, this is something that I said like earlier. I reacted to this on the call live, and I was monitoring the share price, and it did go a lot down. It went down to minus 13% or something in the second they were talking about this. I'm not sure if that was random or not, but that's what happened. I was checking it out. And this Cyan guy, he's pretty negative now. I saw him, and again, rightfully, I can understand it. And yeah, like there's some good conversations here as well, you know. He was saying, I'm referring to the 27.45 mark in the Q&A, where the analyst is trying to level set from what the company said 1 to 2 years ago, specifically indicating 65 million to now 15 to 20 with some items already baked in. And that's what happened. It did happen like that. And Justin is just answering like, clearly there was some miscommunication, as that makes no sense. And I just hope it was. But I also reacted to that. And, you know, with management now in the past and everything like that, communication, it's not clearly not their strong side. And I'm not sure if, like, that's something, I just have it in my head, in the back of my mind, that happened. It did happen. And I agree that that does not make sense, but I just hope that's right, you know. And this guy is also saying that, yeah, you're right in the sense that Charterboy is not playing, blah, blah. Yeah, something to keep in mind. And I hope it was a miscommunication, or like a miscommunication. And this, I think, here's Cyan again. I think this sums up where I am as well. That makes sense. It just seems like a wish versus reality at this point. They can continue to lay them out, but if they can't deliver, or at least show promise in delivering, makes me not want to leave my capital here versus just sitting in savings account. Just in say like, right, we need to see the definitive agreements come through with Vault, power options, etc. We should have answers on all of this before the fall, I assume. And I agree. That's why I started by saying, like, they need now to show us that what they are saying all the time, that they actually deliver. But that's where I think they will end up doing that in the end. I think they will sell the Western plants, and I think they will land the carbon capture deal. I'm not sure if they will land it with Volt, but they will land it with some like that's a big, that has been a big catalyst for me all the time, the carbon capture program. So I think there's only a letter of intent, but like Brian was saying, the CEO on the call, that was one of the big milestones near term. So of course they are working as much as they can on that. And this is the website of Vault. I got like a virus. My virus program was not allowing me access to their homepage for some reason, so I can't press that one. But if you go into here, you can read a little bit about them. They have a big team and stuff like that, you know. So I just wanted to pull that up to show you if you want to do your own digging into who Vault is, because I have not heard of them before. And they have some, you know, news, and here's the ALTO news for them. Enters letter of intent with Vault to advance carbon capture and storage. So this is what the deal is about, and I think just in I don't remember where he wrote about it, but he explained like what it was on Twitter, I think. He explained like what they're gonna do. And he's also pointing out there's heavy shorting of the stock. So that's what I meant. Like if you go back those years, there was some manipulation, I think, that was going on. Just trying to find where he explains like what the plan is with Volt, for everyone who doesn't know. And by the way, here's the like the single out of the Peking campus and the Western production, and they have it all here. You know, you can see the numbers and everything. They have split them up, so I look at it as a promising sign that they will end up selling it. But let's see. I can't find it right now, but there is some place that oh, here is the Trump comment, because he's asking about now with Jeremy Raper was saying now with Trump coming back into view, this is probably a restructuring candidate as the carbon capture opportunity looks much trickier. And he's saying like his conclusion is like, I don't see any risk from Trump. You can read it on your own. I'm just sorry I can't find back where he explains like the how that would work. I'm sure it was on Twitter. And this is also interesting, like the location that they're gonna have all this carbon stuff is close to Peking. That's what they've said all the time, which is a good thing, you know. Here he's even saying, I think the 600 million was clearly a joke. Yeah. Here, the timing would coincide with CCS just as it always has been previously. The difference is that a power company, an expert, would be building the facility and using their funds instead of ALTO, not an expert, building it out and using ALTO funds. Well, they would have a customer for life in ALTO, and I assume that they would also be able to sell and market the energy generated to a lot of other customers. Not to mention it would be on ALTO's land that ALTO owns. Perhaps the location is strategically valuable in itself, which they have talked a lot about in the past. And this guy, Science, say makes sense. That's the comment that I was reading. Okay, so no, I'm not. I disagree with the market here. Like I didn't find. Yes, the numbers were not great. I can understand them. I hoped for better numbers. Don't get me wrong. But there was a lot of things that I was waiting for that I think they delivered on. And if they now can land this deal with Volt, I'm like they are on the track then, in my opinion, of what I expected them to be. And I just Justin linked this also, this article about how everything works in this process. So if you are curious to read more about that, I just wanted to pull it up so you can find it yourself and go through and read the whole thing. I have not gone through this myself, but I will, and try to like educate myself a bit on how this actually works. But it was to a question about the cost of compressing all of these things that they capture, you know. Yeah. No, that was ALTO. If I had the money right now, I would add. I'm not looking at it as a big, you know, negative, but the market did. But who knows? Who knows where we will be in the end here? So switch to. Sorry, that was a. I spent a lot of time going through ALTO, but it's a big position for me. We have caught BNED because BNED has had more things in near term going for them, but the ALTO now with the update on the Q3 report, maybe we'll focus a little bit on ALTO in the future, but I don't know. It's a waiting game there as well. We need to see now. But hopefully they can make that deal pretty soon, like within some months maybe. I just wanted to like show people that there has been a lot of new comments on BNED as well. You know, we have been covering them for quite some time now. I must say though that all of a sudden after what happened now recently, that they had to postpone the Q3 report and that they came out with the potential dilution news, all of a sudden a lot of people that have been negative to the stock after it happened came out and was starting to write a lot about it. But in my opinion, there has been a little bit of a like maybe not misinformation, but it's clear to us who has paid attention now for quite some time that there are things that they have missed in their thinking about this. I'm not saying that they're going to be wrong, but like this guy is using this word forbearance, and is saying it's like, if the word forbearance shows up after multiple amendments to credit agreements and the company is limited, it means that by the time forbearance is granted, the company have already run the gamut of is basically saying that when that word comes, it's going to go into bankruptcy. But that word doesn't, it's not in the documents, and he's like, he has interpreted it that they are actually talking about it. And yeah, maybe he's right, but it's not, the word has not been used in the way he says, as far as I know. Maybe I missed something, but as far as I know, that's how it is. And I saw another guy also that said that he has read like some documents, and that there has not been anything about that like a way to provide students with books like the first day complete model do, that will be mandatory, but it clearly has been. They even asked about it on the call, you know, and he had to answer for it, and the interpretation, at least, of the answer given then is that they need to give all students a possibility to buy the books at a discount in the first 7, like I don't remember the days or something, but it's basically what the first day complete model is doing. And that they have talked about, and they discussed, and people were even following up with questions about it because they were also a bit confused, and that's what was said. So that he said that he couldn't find it in the document, I think it was because he read the wrong document. So there's some I see some new names in this now, and they are maybe not wrong, but they are missing a few things that we have talked about. And then I'm not saying that we are going to be right or wrong or whatever, but it's just information is information, and we have covered it in the other streams as well. So if you follow the streams, you know what I'm talking about. And Ranger Dane is commenting here. You can read it. I'm not going to go through all of that now. I want to go into the fundamental sheet. Taken a while today to get here, but I just want to check, go through the daily movers, and we can start. And I need to pull up the tickers today, so you need to bear with me. It takes a little bit of time. But if you are new to the stream, what I'm doing here is I'm looking at the metrics, the insider buys, the performance, the market cap. If it's black here, it just means that I pulled them up in the last 3 months. And if it's white here, it means that I have done research on them and added them in my tracker sheet, which are for stocks that I follow a little bit more close. So I'm just gonna, and I have it sorted as a percentage to 52-week low here with a color formatting. So everything that is yellow is like less than 20% to the 52-week low, which is something I look for. But that doesn't mean that I have to stop here. I'm gonna look in the entire sheet, you know. So if I have done them, I'm not gonna pull them up again now. And also health, like I'm skipping like biotech. I'm trying to filter them out, but since these fields are empty, some of them sneak in here. But I don't want to pull them up now. And also REITs and banks, insurance, stuff like that. I'm not paying too much attention to that right now. B. Riley, there's a story going on there about like the short squeeze and stuff like that. Oh yeah, let me check. Just gonna pull up the tickers I already have here. So they were one. A bit tiny market cap, this 26 million. A big ownership though, but as you can see also they're, no, that's the wrong one, this one. They're like a bit high maybe, no inside buys. Tech company. Because of the tiny market cap, I'm gonna leave them. Inside buy in insurance, okay. One here, done them before. SGC, they are a bit high. I'm not gonna do them today. I saw in the weekly movers as well. Live person, inside buy, let's check it. I don't like the other metrics and the multiples, but okay, from a fund, that's a big buy, 10% owner. I need to check them out. But also from the director, 100,000, 12 homage. What is this fund doing? Whoa, what a website, huh? Let me know if you've been to, is this all San Francisco or what? Looks great. In technology companies, create long-term value for a stakeholder. So they are experts in tech. They don't have like a about here. They are all technology. We were one of the first private equity firms to focus exclusively on technology. So maybe let's check their holdings later. Maybe I will pull up LPSN. Actually, I didn't like the metrics, but look here. The market cap is somewhat alright. Obviously, something has happened here recently. They are breaking under the 52-week low. So interesting. I will pull them up. LPSN. This is too big. Urban, it doesn't say that I've done them, but I have done them in the past. The reason I don't, it's like a bank. You can check the inside, but it's not a big one either, so I'm leaving them. BNED, BNED for the wrong reasons in the weekly movers. Insurance. Those are Chinese. I don't trust my numbers when they are from other countries. Also too big, 23 billion. Where are we here? Done. Oh, did you guys see on Saturday, right? We have these intro videos where we are just like messing around. But a lot of the times, the tickers we have put in the intro videos have had like a big bounce actually. And last Saturday we did the Fisker, the EV company, and I think today they filed for bankruptcy or something like that. It has been looking ugly for quite some time now. But watch, it will bounce. It will bounce because not investment advice by any means. I'm sorry if this process is a bit slow. I just going through everything here. All right, VRA. It's a bit too high. That's why I'm leaving them. They look good on other things, but they're a bit too high right now. I'm just gonna pull up a few that I already had here. ISDR. Insider. In Arch, I saw them. I think we will pull them up actually. It's not a big one, but it's a new one from a director. And yeah, we can have a look at it. This is a good inside buy though, but I remember this name. I've done them before, so I'm not gonna do them now. Insurance. Bit expensive. That's it. I have a few other ones that I just want to pull in. BuzzFeed. And thank you, Jared. I think his name was Jared. He on Ranger Dane's stream on Tuesday, he was posting in the comment section after. Some nice comments, by the way. Thank you for those. We appreciate everyone who gives some feedback to us, because we want to improve and we want to make sure as we can make this the best experience for everyone, you know. So thank you for that. But he also gave us a ticker, which was BuzzFeed, and we have both, Dane and I have looked into it, and there's some interesting things there. Tiny market cap as well, and they've been struggling, but it's like we can go through a little bit, and I think maybe we will go through more on BuzzFeed on Saturday. Then we are both here, and we can bounce some comments between each other, you know. Right, so that's it for the daily ones, I think. I also looked at the weekly now, by the way. If you missed it, I have the tab behind me. Behind me is the tabs. So when I change, it's like this was the weekly and this was the daily. So just closing out of some stuff here. And as always, throw me some tickers if you have some in the comment section, in the chat, I mean. And as always, throw me some tickers if you have some in the comment section, in the chat. And as always, throw me some tickers if you have some. I just need to sometimes check if the sound is good. And like I said, I have adjusted the sound a little bit today, so I'm a bit interested to hear if my volume is too low or something like that. And like I said, but I think it sounds well on my end at least. So let me know if it's something I need to change. But yeah, this is my fundamental sheet. We can start with panel. From Rhode Island, Pangea Logistics Solutions, together with subsidiaries, provides seaborne dry bulk logistics and transportation service to industrial customers worldwide. The company offers various dry bulk cargoes such as grains, coal, iron ore, pig iron, hot briquette iron, bauxite, alumina, cement, clinker, dolomite, and limestone. Its ocean logistics services comprise cargo loading, cargo discharge, vessel chartering, voyage planning, and technical vessel management. As of March 16, 2022, the company owned and operated a fleet of 25 vessels, and they were founded and is based in Rhode Island, in Newport, Rhode Island. Price exactly at 7. Market cap, you see it's a decent market cap that I like to see here. Shows up as safe, and it does issue a little bit of shares, but not a lot. So the share count in my sheet are the same as it originally is. Straight off the bat here, I can see that you know, they are trading at 7, and book value is around there as well. As they don't show up as levered here, and they have like almost 100 million on the books in excess cash, and I've taken out like a little bit. Excess cash is like cash and cash equivalent plus short-term investments minus 1% of revenue. So if you all go to the thank you will always see that they have a little bit more cash than the number I have here. It's just to be, they need some money taken out to keep the business running in a worst case scenario, you know. Anyways, you see the equity growth, which is nice to see here. steady share count, a little bit off in these years, but nothing too much to worry about. But big drop in revenue, and you see down 15% today. So there's something going on here that is a bit negative, you know. They do have operating cash flow, and they also do have positive free cash flow, but of course much less in 23 than they had in 22. And on the 7-year average, you see it's on the minus side, and the same with the 3-year average. So I would prefer that to go up, but of course it's like marine shipping, bulk. Margins are up on the 3-year average. I expect them maybe to be a bit down lately, which we will see the effect of in my sheet. Since these are 3-year averages, they don't show up so much here. I guess this last year was a good year for them. They do pay dividend, and they do have positive earnings. I'm just curious to see what 16% in the share count, like the drop is, and of course was an earning call. They missed by 18 cents on the EPS, and also they missed on revenue. So this guy is not too happy with the management here. And I guess I haven't looked too much into this now, but I guess it's like obviously something is not going too well these days with this company. And to be honest, I don't see immediately here a huge upside. So B. Riley is he involved? No, I don't see. These are all like big fonts though. All right. And we didn't see insiders here, right? No. And this is in January, so what was the price then? 8, so it's dropped since then. This is a bit, I'm not too familiar with this industry. I know a lot of investors say that shipping and like bulk stuff are complicated. There's a Twitter account, Hannistal or something like that, that you can follow. He's pretty good and knows his stuff on this. So I advise you to do that if you're interested in this, but I think I will pass on this just by looking at it. It doesn't even trade cheap enough, even with this drop. We can just look at the chart. Look at this drop. Went up almost to 10 though. And he said like B. Riley and them had a target of 11. And it even got overbought here. I'm using the weekly now. A pretty good chart though. If you take out this last drop up until here, this is a decent chart. You know what I mean? It has some of these big drops and big gains, but overall a positive trend. And you know, on an earnings report, it's okay. It's not like close even to the 52-week low, so this can bounce back a little bit and be in line with all these other drops, you know, and continue to go up. But I just want, like, I'm not a fan of this dividend. I want them to generate a little bit more cash. There has been a revenue drop, so it's obviously in a bad period now. And with the Panama Canal and everything that's going on there, they also talked about it there, that they had to pay like a fee to get through there, and that they have struggled to navigate through this last period. So maybe it's like now you should buy it because the times ahead might look a bit more promising, but nah, not for me. I'm gonna pass on this for now. So next one is LPSN. That was the one with the inside buy we just saw. So LivePerson, it's a technology company. LivePerson together with its. So when did that fund buy? They have not showed up in my sheet here with the inside buys, but who cares? We have seen it already. Bit of a tiny market cap, good revenues compared to that. Margins looks a bit down now. It does set levered, and they are. And you see, as a lot of tech companies, the tangible book is not as good as the book value, you know, because it's a bit hard to put a price on technology and stuff like that. But look at the cash generation. It's bleeding, and earnings also is not earning. And you can see the acquisitions here. It's obviously in growth mode. It has some smaller acquisitions, had a little bit of a big one here. But it's often acquisitions you see here, you know. So like straight off the bat, even if we saw that technology fund buying 6 billion, it's a big purchase. Let's see if they own it. Like the fundamentals at first glance, I need to see on Seeking Alpha if people are talking about it. It was these guys, right? So it's actually their it's their third largest holdings. So that's meaningful, but they only have 5. So it's in the middle there, and they did add recently, substantially as well. I mean, in percentage to what they were holding before. Yeah, so that is attractive, that in itself, you know. But I need to read here because at first glance, this does not look very attractive. The price is around $1. They trade above book and they have no cash generation. They have diluted recently, and they do show up as very levered. They have some cash though. They have a lot of cash on the books, so the debt might not be an issue here. So let's just check the debt before we go. We move on here. Yeah, so they have a lot of So they have not put them together. They have some due in 24. Oh no. Okay. That was the delusion we saw probably. Okay, I'm just sometimes it shows up if they have warrants and stuff like that in Y sheets. So I was just checking for that and stuff like that. Here, due 2026, and that's the big one. It's a bit complicated, all this structure. But debt heavy. They do not generate cash, so let's see on Seeking Alpha what people are saying. I feel like the insiders forum, they are everywhere. Sell. No. Plummeting revenue. Yeah, we saw that the revenue is down, right? No, this looks just ugly, and the, you know, the vector fund, maybe they will get some money here, but I'm moving on. I don't see much here. So VRA, the next one. Vera Bradley, together with design, manufacturing, sells women's handbags and luggage and travel items. So fashion and home accessory and gifts. So apparel, accessories, and luxury goods. So all these kinds of business has had some rough periods, you know, with the all the inflation going on and the buying power of people. Maybe it hasn't been the best years for them for people buying like luxury items. But if that turns around, these can come in favor again. There's also a revenue drop here. Look, it shows up as safe. So they have 73 million here, and they can cover the debt. Some positive earnings. It looks like last year for them was bad, both in the cash generation and earnings. And they've had a little bit of an acquisition now, and so far operating and free cash flow is positive. All of the cash metrics are actually, and on the 7-year average, $1 in operating cash flow and 72 cents in free cash flow, and you see the price is at $6 and 41 cents. So that's not bad, and they currently trade below book value as well. I'm not sure about what the capex is down, revenue is a bit down, but they had made an acquisition, and book value is up. But you see the cash is also up, so They probably had to spend some more on capex here. Look at this, they also bought back shares, and they have paid down some of the debt here, also on the short term, of course. And retained earnings is up, so okay, this looks a bit interesting in my opinion. But let's see, 24% inside ownership. Nothing new though, no new purchases. I'm just curious to see who owns this with the insiders. There you go. All right. And who owns them in the institutions? Just like the big players again. All right. But they do own a lot though, the insiders. I wonder what the acquisition has been. They had some press releases on that. They had some changes in the board of directors recently. I can't find anything in the press release. Maybe it's like either my data is wrong or I've just missed it here. And they had an earnings miss on both EPS and revenue yesterday, but and you see it has gone down a little bit lately, which is why probably it shows up in my sheet. But it's up today, 4%. No comments though. These are a bit a long time since. And do we have anything about the acquisition here? Nah, I can't find anything. Maybe my data is wrong. It doesn't really matter, but we can move on here. But let's check the chart, because I do like a little bit of what I see here. Of course, it's too expensive already, but I kind of want to throw it in the tracker. I would need this to drop to like, what do we see on the chart? Yeah, actually, maybe all the way to 3. To be interesting, because I can see a upside of like maybe around 10, something like that. I think I will add it to the tracker and note a price of like 350 to 4 maybe. They can cover the depth and everything like that, you know, and they are, again, after a bad year last year, they are now generating free cash flow. And if they can start to grow revenue again, and look, they have been buying back a little bit of shares, which is a bit weird though, I must say, in a year like this where they did perform poorly, they also bought back shares. But I saw they've had some restructuring in the board of directors and everything, so maybe that had some consequences for the people working there. And I don't know. I need to check more into this, but I want to just give this a chance in the tracker. So I'm just have to writing manual here, and then I send it to the tracker sheet. Current price, what did we say? 641. And I think I would have to do like I want to just get alerted a bit higher than what I want it to become. I'm putting like 375, probably a medium. They do have some attractive fundamentals. Control of depth, have turned 2022 into a more positive, turned 2022 fundamentals more positive now. That year was a poor year for them. They missed on their latest report. Have some cash on the books. Some good equity growth. They do generate positive operating cash flow now, plus positive free cash flow, and also on the 7-year average. Not many people talking about them. Pay attention to a further drop in their price and more insider buys. I think I'll just note that down and send them to the tracker so I have them there. There they are. All right, let's move on then. ISDR. Look at this steady share count. A little bit off up since these years. North Carolina, so US based, 6% down today, and look, 2% from the 52-week low. They're a software and application software company. Communication and compliance platform technology and service in the United States and international. The company provides Platform ID, a platform that manages the events of customers to distribute their messages to constituents, investors, markets, and regulatory system. Whistleblower hotline, which delivers secure notification and basic incident workflow management processes that align with a company's corporate governance, whistleblower policy. So it's like cloud-based platforms, tech company, right? That provides different platforms and solutions for bigger businesses. And they show up as levered, but it doesn't issue shares, my sheet. So these are like non-diluted numbers. Revenue is up. Bit of a tiny company, 45 million in market cap. Look at this, no capex, which makes them generate both operating cash flow and free cash flow, but it's very little compared to the share price. Around $1 on both of them on the 7-year average, which is good, of course, but they do trade above book. They have control of the debt, but I would want to see a little bit more of these cash generations and a higher revenue here. And I wonder if those what the models are and stuff like that, if they have if these are subscriptions, and how like the what's the guidance on the future outlook on the models. Seems like they have had a beat. It seems also like no one is following in them. Because there was no estimates to compare to. Do they not have like a presentation? Nah. All right. Anyways, we'll just go through what I find here in my fundamental and seeking alpha and stuff. Let's check the margins. Bit down. Net is up. Oh, they had a big acquisition here. Actually, a big one. That's big for their market cap, you know. And since then, things are a bit down. Seems like they spent some cash on that one. But they took on a bit of a debt and has managed to pay it substantially down since then without raising the share count. So yeah, something to pay attention to note. But yeah, I'm a bit like hesitant to add these because of the tiny market cap and the small revenue generation. But I do see what that guy was talking about. Like he feels like it's a bit of a justified a higher share price. But it doesn't have enough for me to add them in the tracker. It does look cheap though, so if I see it more times in my daily movers, I might end up adding it to the tracker, you know, because right now, look at this. Looks super bearish. And if it continues to drop, which is fully can, you know, if it gets cheap enough, will still be attractive, but it's another tiny company. I just want them. I just want them cheaper, and with this tiny market cap already, it starts to get risky, you know. Now moving forward to BuzzFeed, which was a ticker from Jared. Was it Jared? Yeah, I think Jared was the name. And we will go through this, I promise, on Saturday in more depth, because I have to wrap up the stream soonish, you know. I can quickly go through this now, and the interesting thing here is I just I regret because it was a lot cheaper just a little bit ago. It traded at 16 cents down here. That was beginning of February. So it has had a nice gain since then. And you know, they have cash. They have actually, the thing with them is they have, it looks a bit ugly here. Revenue down, share count is up. You know, they have debt shows as levered. They are still on the minus side, at least in my sheet, on the cash generation and all that. But look at the book value. They are trading still below book value. And the interesting thing here is that the management seems to be knowing what they are doing, because they have sold some assets which has pretty much put them in a, and I don't think my numbers reflect that. It has put them in a very nice position now to develop their business and take care of debt and everything. So they are standing on fully grounded on 2 feet and are ready to move forward, I think. And we can see some people talking about them here. I saw Courage is also talking about them on a podcast. Seeking Alpha has a podcast, so he's talking about them a little bit there, you know. This is a transcript of that episode, but I've listened to the podcast. It was recorded in summer 23, I think. So I suggest you go and check out the podcast. He talks a little bit about them. And you see that they have done this a few times now. They have reduced their workforce. And here's like the market was disappointed about this asset sale, because they felt like they should have gotten more money for it. And the president actually resigns after that happened. But I think they just like to go through Courage's take on them real quick. What was is saying like, so here's a really interesting name, BuzzFeed. This is fascinating. So this was a SPAC. You saw that on the chart, right? So it has dropped tremendously since then. So this was back they own BuzzFeed, which should do like social stuff, quizzes, goof stuff, but it's a pretty good following. And they own HuffPost, which is political, Ariana Huffington, and they have some other businesses. So last Mondays, 2 Mondays ago, the stock had, let me just walk you through the capital stack, right? You got 150 million, 15% convert due 2026. You had 33.8 million in the term, and the term was super restrictive. So you had to keep 25 million in cash. They only had 42 million in cash, so they had no liquidity. And the revenue is down like 20% this year. Keep in mind, this was an episode from... well, it's reposted now, but I think it was in August or July or something, 2023. In 2021, they did 41.5 million in EBITDA. They lost a little bit of EBITDA in 2022, but this year, because they already, when they file this, I'll get to next section, they're going to be about break even on EBITDA. But the problem is when you have 15% debt at 150 million plus, you have the LIBOR plus 5 and the term is 27.5 million. So just some math here. So the equity was 0.22 cents. You got 150 million shares outstanding. You have 32 million market cap. Enterprise value is like 170 million 2 weeks ago. Lo and behold, they sold Complex. That was the asset sale, right? I hope I'm not getting that wrong, for 108.6 million, plus the buyers paying 5.6 million severance. Literally transformed the company overnight, which is kind of the thing here. And let's see here. Here was that article. So they are, the other one was, they are talking about to sell something more now, which is also why this is a bit interesting all of a sudden. So that was actually another one. There's 7 million revenue, probably break even, maybe low single digit EBITDA. They've issued the 8K, they paid off the term, and there was also 17.1 million of letters of credit, right? So the restricted cash issue is gone. So they've improved quickly just by asset sale. Think about ALTO, you know. Then they came out and paid 30.9 million of the 15% convert, and if you read the 8K very closely, you got to understand the subtext, right? And here's where I think the key nuance the market is missing. They specifically say, right, because the term's gone, all those covenants are gone. The company also intends to amend the indenture governing the convertible notes to provide that 95% of net proceeds of future asset sales must be used to repay the convertible notes. So if you're paying any attention, what does that mean? This is what I think it means. One, they're going to sell another asset if they get a good price. Well, we just saw that they are in talks of that. And two, they want to, as a bargaining chip, they pay 20% of it down on the convert. There's probably guessing these things were trading way below par, right? You're paying these things off at a par. Or maybe what you could even be in one-on-one, I have to go look. And that kind of opens the door up to buybacks or some other strategic thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to read the rest here, but if you want to listen to the pod, because I don't want to bore you with my poor English, but you get the idea. There's a story here. They have sold off assets, and they are considering maybe to sell another asset, like around the corner. Actually, the news of that was now in January. So they have improved the business, like he said, almost overnight. And all of a sudden they can stand, they have options to move in different directions. I'm just a bit hesitant on it annoys me that I didn't see this before when it dropped to 16 cents, you know. Look at the volume increase also. That's pretty crazy. So I already missed out something, so I kind of want to pull back and wait for it. But I can assure you that we're gonna go through that on the stream on Saturday, Dane and I, and maybe we can go through it a little bit more in depth then, because there's definitely a story here. There's promising, like they can even sell off more assets. And also noteworthy, 10% short interest. This is from March, the data, and look, it has increased almost 200%. I'm not building any thesis on that alone, but it's just a side note to pay attention to. And like I said, these numbers look a bit ugly, but it doesn't reflect the story that has developed in the last 6, 7, 8, 9 months. So definitely gonna add this to my tracker and pay attention to it. And we will talk more about it on Saturday. I can promise you that. I think Arch is something we have to wait to do, because I need to go. I need to go now. I need to stop the stream. I hope you have found it valuable today to just get some update on both ALTO and BNED. Maybe most ALTO today for me. And we also checked out a few companies. I added one of them to my tracker, so I'm pretty happy with that. And thank you, Max, for using the chat and talking with us. And I hope if you watch this after the live stream and you have any questions, just feel free to use the comment section, and we always try to answer as fast as we can on all the comments that we are getting. Not that we get a ton of comments, but we try to reply quickly. And once again, thanks for everyone who tunes in. Thanks for everyone who subscribes and tell their friends about the channel. We're pretty happy with how this is developing, and it has kind of reached the purpose already with some conversation in chat. People are sending us some tickers that we didn't know about from before, and I hope we are also showing you good parts of the research style and everything like that, but always keep in mind you have to do your own work and due diligence. This is nothing of this is ever investing advice. We are just showing you how we are doing it, and we are trying to also help you maybe to build out the sheets and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you for everyone who bothers to watch us, and we will see you again on Saturday. That will be Dane and myself at the same time, and I'm sure we're going to talk both ALTO and BNED then, and BuzzFeed, and let's see what we find. Maybe something happens tomorrow that is gonna attract us and bother to pull them up. So yeah. Again, thanks for joining in, and I'll see you on Saturday, and enjoy the rest of your day. All right, bye-bye, see ya.